Did you know that the very way you're trying to stay young and strong might be quietly wearing out the heart that's carried you all these years? I know it sounds strange. You've been told that staying active is the key to longevity, and it is, if done right. But here's something most people never hear after 60. Some of the most popular exercises can silently push your heart beyond its safe limits, not because you're weak, but because your heart deserves a different kind of care now. Let me tell you about someone I once treated, Mr. Harris, 72. He jogged every morning, did crunches before bed, pushed himself hard because he thought that was the only way to stay young, until one morning he collapsed just putting on his shoes, not from a heart attack, but from a heart that had been quietly overworked for years, with no one noticing. So I want to ask you, from one heart to another, could it be that your effort to stay well is unknowingly doing harm? In this video, I'm going to walk with you gently through 5 common exercise habits that may be silently straining your heart. But more importantly, I'll show you how to move with kindness, not pressure, with awareness, not fear. Because at your age, strength doesn't mean pushing harder. It means listening closer. Let's begin. You've probably heard the saying, no pain, no gain. And maybe for years you believed it. Maybe you still do. After all, when we were younger, pushing ourselves, breaking a sweat, breathing hard, felt like proof that we were doing something right. It was the way to get stronger, live longer, stay independent. But here's the truth. No one tells you after 60, your heart doesn't need pain to grow stronger anymore. It needs patience. It needs protection. High-intensity interval training, or HIIT, has become incredibly popular in recent years. You see it on TV, in gyms, even in senior wellness classes now. Short bursts of intense movement, jumping, squatting, running in place, followed by short rest. The promise: fast results, more calories burned, a younger you. But what most people your age don't realize is that HIIT isn't just hard. It's dangerous when your heart is no longer in its 20s. I remember a woman I saw just last fall. Her name was Linda. She was 66, vibrant, sharp, full of life. She told me proudly that she had started doing online HIIT workouts every morning. It's only 15 minutes, she smiled, but I sweat buckets. I feel alive afterward. What she didn't notice were the subtle warning signs. Feeling a little dizzy after, needing to nap more, her heart fluttering once or twice a week. She brushed it off. Until one morning, she collapsed in the shower. It turned out her heart had been under silent stress for weeks, struggling to keep up with the intensity she thought was keeping her young. Here's what happens with HIIT. During those intense bursts, your heart is forced to pump harder and faster than it safely can. Blood pressure spikes. Electrical signals that tell your heart how to beat become unstable. And for someone already living with mild hypertension, a bit of plaque buildup, or a slight arrhythmia, which is more common than you think after 60, that pressure can be too much. The scary part? You often don't feel it. The damage builds quietly, session by session, until one day it speaks up, in the form of chest pain, fainting, or worse. And the saddest part? People like Linda weren't being reckless. They were trying to do the right thing. They believed that more sweat meant more health. But your heart at this stage of life doesn't respond the way it used to. It's not about being lazy. It's about being wise. So what should you do instead? Think gentle rhythm over intensity. Think consistency over chaos. A 20-minute walk after breakfast. A slow stretch on the porch. Light Tai Chi in your living room. These may not leave you breathless, but they will leave your heart steady. They will build strength without breaking your balance. They will give your body time to adapt, recover, and breathe. Because at 60, 70, 80, the goal isn't to beat your body into youth again. The goal is to walk with it, listen to it, and let it carry you, safely, peacefully for many more mornings to come. And yet, there's another form of exercise that many seniors turn to thinking it's the best way to stay strong. But when done the wrong way, it may be placing even greater strain, not just on your muscles, but directly on your heart. Let's talk about that next. There's something deeply admirable about wanting to stay strong as we age. The desire to lift our own groceries, to open jars without help, to stand tall and feel capable, that's not vanity. That's independence. And strength training plays a powerful role in that. But here's the part most people don't hear. Not all strength exercises are created equal, especially for a heart that's been beating faithfully for over 60 years. You see, movements like sit-ups, crunches, and heavy lifting aren't just about muscles. They're about pressure. When you strain during a core crunch, when you hold your breath to push through a heavy rep, you create a sudden spike of pressure inside your chest and abdomen. That pressure doesn't just stay local. It radiates inward and upward. And your heart, caught in the middle, has to compensate fast. It's something called the Valsalva maneuver, and it happens when we hold our breath while exerting. Blood pressure can surge. The heart rate can shift. For a younger person with flexible arteries and strong heart rhythm, it's usually not a big deal. But for someone in their 60s or beyond, especially with stiff arteries or hidden blockages, it can become a tipping point. I remember a patient named Robert. He was 71, healthy on paper, determined to stay strong for his grandkids. He built a home gym in his garage and followed YouTube tutorials on strength workouts. One day, while doing a set of weighted crunches, he suddenly felt faint. His vision blurred and he collapsed. Thankfully, he recovered, but tests showed a dangerous spike in blood pressure and an irregular heartbeat that had been hiding in the background, now triggered by the strain. Robert didn't make a mistake because he was careless. He made it because he didn't know what was happening inside his body. And most people don't. They see the surface, muscles, effort, sweat, but they don't see the silent strain building with each breath held and each rep forced. They don't hear the heart struggling to keep pace with the demands being placed on it. So what's the better way? You don't have to give up on strength, but you do have to change how you build it. Choose resistance bands over heavy weights. Focus on controlled movements where you exhale with effort. Never hold your breath. Use your own body weight. Move slowly and give yourself permission to rest between sets. Most importantly, seek guidance from someone who understands the heart, not just the muscles. Because true strength isn't about how much you can lift in a moment. It's about how long you can live with grace, balance, and energy. It's about being able to hug your grandchild, carry a bag of groceries, or rise from your chair with ease, not about chasing a number on a barbell. And while these internal pressures can silently tax your heart, there's another kind of stress that doesn't come from inside your body, but from the world around you. A kind of invisible challenge that many overlook, especially when simply stepping outside to exercise. Let's take a closer look at that next. We often think of exercise as something we do for our body, moving our legs, stretching our arms, getting our heart rate up, but what we rarely think about is where and when we do it. Because believe it or not, the very air around you can make the difference between healing your heart and hurting it. Let me tell you about Mr. Dean. He was 74, a proud morning walker. Rain or shine, summer or winter, he laced up his sneakers and walked the same neighborhood loop every day at 6 a.m. It gave him structure, peace, a sense of control. But one particularly chilly morning, just 15 minutes into his walk, he felt tightness in his chest. He tried to push through. 5 minutes later, a neighbor found him sitting on the curb, pale and shaking. He didn't have a heart attack, but his heart had been struggling to keep up in the cold air. You see, as we age, our bodies lose some of their ability to regulate temperature. In cold weather, blood vessels constrict to preserve heat, which causes blood pressure to rise. In hot weather, vessels dilate, heart rate increases, and dehydration can sneak up faster than expected. Your heart isn't just working to support movement, it's working overtime to protect you from your environment. And yet, most seniors don't realize how sensitive their heart becomes to temperature. They assume a walk is always good, that fresh air equals better health. But if that air is too hot or too cold, especially for someone already dealing with hypertension or heart disease, it's not just uncomfortable, it's risky. So here's what I tell my patients. Exercise doesn't need to be outdoors to be effective. Walk inside a mall. Do gentle stretching by an open window. Join a local senior center with temperature-controlled spaces. If you do go outside, layer your clothing. Carry water. Choose times of day when the temperature is mild. Early morning in summer, mid-afternoon in winter. The key is to honor your heart's limits, not test them. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do for your body is to pause when nature says, not today. But even when the temperature is right and the air feels calm, there's still another hidden danger. One that doesn't come from outside or from inside, but from how fast we move between the two. Let's talk about that next. There's something about moving fast that makes us feel alive. Jumping into a Zumba class, doing a quick jog around the block, trying a new YouTube workout that promises results in just 10 minutes. It feels like we're fighting back against time, proving that age hasn't slowed us down. And in some ways, that's admirable. But when it comes to your heart, your balance, your safety, speed can quietly become your most dangerous enemy. Quick, jarring movements, jumping jacks, sudden twists, burpees, even fast-paced stepping might look harmless, but after 60, your body responds differently. Your nervous system reacts a little slower, your balance is a little less stable, and your blood vessels don't adjust as smoothly as they used to. So what feels like a simple hop or turn can throw your entire cardiovascular system into chaos. I'll never forget Mr. Clarence. He was 69, retired firefighter, still proud of his strength. He started a home workout program he saw online. Mostly quick bursts of movement to upbeat music. For the first few weeks, he felt great. Then one morning, mid-routine, he stumbled during a sudden squat-to-jump move. His heart was pounding. His knees buckled. He didn't fall, but he came to my clinic shaken. Tests showed erratic heart rhythms and a drop in blood pressure that caught him and his heart off guard. It wasn't his fault. Like many, he thought that fast equals effective, that if it doesn't feel intense, it isn't working. But the aging body doesn't crave intensity, it craves harmony. Sudden changes in direction or speed don't just stress the muscles, they stress the heart. Blood pressure can spike. Oxygen delivery lags. And if you already have any mild blockage or rhythm issues, even small movements can lead to dizziness or worse, a dangerous fall. The irony? These seniors aren't doing anything wrong. They're trying to stay young, stay active, stay in control. But what they don't realize is that real control doesn't come from speed. It comes from awareness. So what's the better approach? Choose movements that flow, that give your heart time to adjust, your muscles time to follow, your mind time to feel grounded. Tai Chi, chair yoga, gentle dance, water aerobics. These don't just strengthen the body, they soothe it. They build muscle without shocking the system. They improve coordination without risking collapse. And here's the quiet truth. It's okay to move slow. Slow is not weakness. Slow is wisdom. Slow means your heart has time to keep up, that your brain has time to balance, that you are choosing life over performance. Because at this stage, every step is not about proving something, it's about preserving everything. And even if your movements are safe, there's still one more trap to watch for. Not what you do, but when you do it, especially if your workouts happen close to bedtime. Let's explore that in the next section. There's a certain peace that comes in the evening. The day slows down. The house grows quiet. For many older adults, That's when they finally find a moment for themselves. Some choose to stretch, others go for a walk around the block. A few might even press play on a light workout video before bed. On the surface, it seems harmless, even healthy. But what most don't realize is that exercising too late in the day may be stealing the very thing your heart needs most: deep, healing sleep. Let me tell you about Elaine. She was 68, recently retired, and had developed a habit of walking on her treadmill around 9 p.m. every night. "It helps me unwind," she said, "gives me something to do." But she started noticing her sleep wasn't as restful. She would wake up more during the night. Her energy was low. Her heart would sometimes race without reason. What she didn't know was that even a gentle evening workout was keeping her nervous system on high alert when it should have been winding down. As we age, our body's internal clock, what scientists call the circadian rhythm, becomes more sensitive. It takes longer to relax after stimulation, and even light physical activity can elevate your heart rate, raise your core temperature, and signal to your brain that it's still time to be active. The result? Delayed sleep, restless nights, and a heart that doesn't get the downtime it needs to repair. You see, nighttime isn't just about rest, it's about recovery. It's when your blood pressure naturally lowers, when your heartbeat stabilizes, when your body shifts from fight or flight mode into healing mode. If exercise pushes that healing time further into the night, your heart loses its chance to truly reset. And over time, that adds up. So what's the better path? Aim to move your body earlier in the day. Morning or early afternoon is best. Let evening be about slowing down, not speeding up. Light stretching, warm tea, calm breathing. These are the companions your heart craves after sunset. Because the truth is, movement is powerful, but timing is wisdom. And now, as we've walked through these 5 habits that quietly stress the heart, I want to offer you something even more important, the reminder that it's never too late to choose better. Let's talk about what that means and why your next step matters more than your last. Sometimes the heart doesn't shout, it whispers. And if we're not paying attention, we miss the early warnings that something inside is calling out for care. A little dizziness after bending down, a skipped heartbeat that only lasts a second, fatigue that feels just a bit heavier than usual. These don't always feel serious. In fact, many seniors brush them off saying, "I guess that's just age." But let me tell you something I've learned in 4 decades of medicine. Your body always knows first. Those tiny shifts in how you feel, those quiet, subtle changes, are often the first signs that your heart is working harder than it should. I remember Martha, a 73-year-old who came in just to check on a little flutter she'd been feeling once or twice a week. No pain, no shortness of breath. But something felt off. We ran a few tests and discovered early atrial fibrillation. It hadn't yet caused damage, but it would have if she'd ignored it. That's the lesson. What feels small can be big, especially at this age, especially when it comes to your heart. So here's my gentle advice. Trust the signals. Don't wait for pain. Don't wait for collapse. If your body whispers, lean in, ask questions, get checked, because every moment you listen is a moment you protect yourself. And the most beautiful part, it's not too late. Not for your heart, not for your health, not for a better way forward. Let's take that hopeful step together in our final message. After all we've talked about, the risks, the hidden dangers, the quiet signals, you might be wondering, so what can I do, doctor? Let me reassure you. Movement is still one of the greatest gifts you can give your heart, but now it's about choosing the kind of movement that gives back, not takes away. The kind that works with your heart, not against it. Think of walking, not as a chore, but as a rhythm. One foot after the other. Breathing in the morning air. 10 minutes around your block, or even just pacing your hallway, your heart appreciates every step. Or Tai Chi. Gentle, flowing movements that improve balance and calm your nervous system. It's like a moving meditation, I've seen seniors go from stiff and anxious to grounded and graceful after just a few weeks. Water aerobics is another gem. Buoyant, low impact, yet surprisingly effective at building endurance and protecting joints. And even something as simple as chair yoga or seated leg raises while watching TV can keep your circulation healthy. I had a patient named Robert, 76, history of heart issues, too nervous to do real exercise. We started with 5 minutes of standing marches by his kitchen sink. He did it every day. 6 months later, he was walking the mall with confidence and sleeping better than he had in years. So here's the heart of it. You don't have to move fast. You just have to move kind. Choose exercises that let you feel connected to your breath, to your body, to this very moment. Because the best workout is the one your heart feels safe in. And now, as we close this journey together, I want to leave you with one final truth. One that may just change how you see the rest of your life. You've made it to the end of this journey with me. And for that, I thank you. Because it tells me something important. You're not just here to add more years to your life. You're here to add more life to your years. And sometimes the way to do that is not to push harder, but to soften more. In all my years as a doctor, the patients who live the longest, the fullest, the most peaceful lives aren't the ones who chase performance. They're the ones who choose consistency over intensity, presence over perfection, and gentleness over pressure. They learn to trust their body, not challenge it every day. They walk in the morning light instead of sprinting uphill. They stretch while the kettle boils. They breathe deeply after meals. They move not to prove they're strong, but to stay connected to the strength that already lives inside them. Like Helen, 82, who told me once, "Doctor, I used to think I had to do it all fast to matter, but now I walk with the sun, and I sleep better, and I'm not afraid anymore." That's the magic of slowing down. You give your heart space to heal. You give your soul time to rest. And in that space, your body finds strength again. Not the kind measured by dumbbells or speed, but by peace, steadiness, and grace. So here's my gentle call to you. Choose the path of ease, not because it's easier, but because it's wiser. Move with care. Rest with purpose. Let your heart feel held, not rushed. And most of all, know this. You're not too old. It's not too late. And every calm choice you make today becomes a stronger tomorrow. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What gentle step will you take this week for your heart? Share it in the comments, and let's walk this path together.